BARK Radio.
What's good, everybody? It's Robo from All Bark back with another video, and today I'm bringing you my NFL Week 6 picks. I will again have score predictions for this week, but don't expect a ton of accuracy as I'm still testing it out and seeing where I'm at. But I am picking every game against the spread and straight up, obviously. So with that said, let's go ahead and recap how the first 5 weeks of the season have gone. Last week we went 7-6 on winners, which was a bit rough, but an absurd 11-2 against the spread, which was huge for that record, and it's honestly more important, as those odds are always near 50-50. A huge step in the right direction there for the season record, but this week I'm hoping to get back rolling in the wins and losses column. There's a ton of solid matchups this week as well, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with those Sunday matchups. The Broncos and Jets square off in Dublin this week, and will probably be another rough matchup overseas. Denver's elite pass rush should make life difficult for the Jets offense, really making it important for Justin Fields to be dominant on the ground to create offense. With that said, on the other end, it's hard to trust how well the Broncos offense will travel too, especially with Bo Nix still struggling to find consistency this season in my opinion. The Philly loss looks a bit less strong after Thursday in New York, and even so, it's a tough game to respond to anyways. I do expect Denver to lean on its defense enough to make plays to win this one comfortably, but the game being in Dublin definitely has shown so far to be tougher on offenses, which could keep the score tight deep into the fourth quarter. Denver has enough talent to pull out the win over a bad Jets team, but I'll take Fields and the Jets to get enough going to cover a spread up over a touchdown. I'll go with a 24-20 final. The Browns and Steelers meet this week in Pittsburgh, and on top of this being Dillon Gabriel's first road start, it'll be his first divisional matchup as well. Cleveland's defense should once again keep things competitive early on in this game, but the Steelers are rested off a bye, and their offense had a decent enough day against the Vikings in Dublin to give me some confidence that they can break through here back at home. I think this Steelers defense is still due for a big day, and going up against TJ Watt is not going to be fun for Gabriel, who also just lost a veteran presence in Joe Flacco this week. I think the Steelers eventually will do enough to score some points on the Browns, and that defense forces a key turnover on Gabriel to start pulling away. So while I think the Browns can hang around a bit, I'm going to take Rodgers and a rested Pittsburgh team to beat a rookie quarterback at home pretty comfortably. I'll go with a 27-17 final. The 49ers headed to Tampa Bay this week to take on a Buccaneers team that's quickly becoming one of my top teams in the league. They just came off a statement win over the Seahawks with half the offense out, and Emeka Egbuka continues to look like the clear offensive rookie of the year. He'll have another chance to add to that resume this week, as yet again the Bucs will be down all of Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Bucky Irving around him. But Baker Mayfield has been so good this season still, and I really believe in this team as a contender as long as they're healthy. This week, I think that continues against a San Francisco team that's also still dealing with a ton of injuries and has to make the cross-country trip here. I think this Niners team has been slept on this season, and they deserve credit for winning games through all the adversity, but I just don't like this matchup for them on the road. I'm going to take Baker and the Bucs to continue to get it done this week, 27-20. The Chargers head to Miami this week in a matchup that the Chargers really need. They've struggled up front on the offensive line a ton lately and are super banged up there as well. But I feel like this offense is due for some positive momentum even after the loss at Hampton last week and Joe Alt still hurt. They still have enough weapons and an elite quarterback in Justin Herbert to move the ball efficiently, and this Dolphins team is one they can definitely get back on track on. Miami's been a bit better as of late, but overall they've just been one of the league's worst teams and haven't proved anything honestly. I just feel like the Chargers will be the more desperate team here, giving more effort on the road this week, and I trust Jim Harbaugh to right that ship early on. So give me the Chargers on the road this week by a touchdown, 24-17. The Rams head to Baltimore this week to take on the Ravens in a game I honestly expect to be higher scoring than expected. The Rams come into this one needing to win after the 49ers loss, and they've had some extra rest as that loss was on a Thursday. Their offense is one of the most efficient and explosive in the league with Stafford and Puka, and they're facing a Ravens defense that's completely fallen apart, just unable to stop really anything lately, and now even weaker after trading away Odafe Owe. I think the Rams should be able to move the ball with ease, and even the Ravens are due for some offensive progression here. It's Cooper Rush's second start now. There should be a bit more comfortability there, and this Rams defense is good, but not as good as the Texans defense they saw a week ago. I obviously trust the Rams a lot more in this spot, so I think they take this game pretty comfortably, but I don't think the Ravens get nearly blanked this time around. I'll go with a 31-21 final. The Cardinals head to Indianapolis this week to face a Colts team that's absolutely rolling right now and showing no signs of slowing down. The Colts have been dominant on both sides of the ball, playing with confidence, rhythm, and physicality that few teams have matched this season. And meanwhile, Arizona comes this one reeling after an epic collapse against Tennessee, a loss that was as dejecting as it gets after a ton of mistakes cost them that game. It sounds like Kyler Murray is going to play in this game, which is a positive sign, but even if he suits up healthy, it's hard to trust his health or this Cardinals team to rebound quickly on the road against a team of this caliber. The difference in vibes between these two teams could not be more different right now, and I think the Colts take full advantage of that at home here. I'm going to go with the Colts by 2 scores, 34-20. The Seahawks head to Jacksonville this week to take on the Jags, and to me, this is a classic spot of two good teams coming off opposite results, which has me leaning towards the Seahawks pulling off an upset on the road. The Seahawks lost a heartbreaker to the Bucs last week at home, while the Jags team pulled off one of the most emotional wins in recent years, taking down the Chiefs Monday night in the final seconds. Like I said, I just think this spot sets up perfectly for Seattle. It's a short week for the Jags, and they should be due for a bit of a letdown performance. The Seahawks offense has been one of the best in football, and Sam Darnold has developed great chemistry with Jackson Smith-Njigba, who looks absolutely unstoppable right now. Seattle desperately needs a win here to me, and this feels like a good opportunity to get it against a Jaguars team that might be slightly overachieving to this point. So I'm going to take Seattle by 3 on the road, 27-24. The Cowboys are at the Panthers this week in what should be one of the more entertaining matchups of the weekend. We've already had Rico Dowdle make some comments about facing his former team, and honestly, both of these offenses are trending upward right now. The Panthers have started to find some rhythm lately, showing real signs of progress, and I've mentioned I'm a bit of a Bryce Young believer, but their offensive line remains a major concern and can absolutely destroy their momentum. On the other end, the Cowboys have been absolutely rolling on offense. Dak Prescott is playing at an MVP caliber level, even without CeeDee Lamb, which is so impressive to me. I do expect Carolina to keep pace for much of this game because of Dallas's defense, which ranks dead last in total yards allowed. But I just cannot side against Dak Prescott and this Cowboys offense right now against teams that I know they can beat. I'm going to take Dallas on the road by a touchdown, 34-27. The Titans head to Vegas this week to take on the Raiders, and what will probably be one of the worst matchups of the week as neither team has looked remotely good this season. But the Titans are coming off their first win of the year in comeback fashion against the Cardinals, and that could lead some momentum here. The Raiders have a home field edge though, and I still think they're the better team here and should be able to come away with a win. But it's so tough to feel confident laying points over a field goal with how bad Geno Smith has played this season. Until he shows real improvement with this offense, I'm going to keep expecting ugly scores. And this Vegas offensive line has not done any favors for Ashton Jeanty. He's top 3 in yards after contact, but not even close to the rushing leaderboard this season. And this Titans defense does have some dudes in the trenches. I also expect Cam Ward to continue giving Tennessee a little spark. So with an expected low-scoring matchup, I'm going to take the Raiders to win, but the Titans to cover. I'll go 20-17. The Patriots are at the Saints this week in New Orleans, looking to build on a huge Sunday night win over the division rival Buffalo Bills, which definitely could make this a tricky spot coming off of such an emotional win. But I also think there's a lot to like about this New England team, particularly Drake May at quarterback, and their defense that continues to help them stay in games and has dominated against the run this season. And the Saints are also coming off a win themselves over the Giants, which was their first of the year. So this isn't a desperation spot for them anymore, and it sort of cancels out that Patriots letdown spot to me. So head to head, I just think the Patriots are a better team. They've got more steady play at quarterback and a very strong defense that can make things tough on Rattler and the Saints and force a ton of field goals if the Saints get anything going. And I really think they continue to show up on the road as they did last week in Buffalo. Give me New England here, 24-16. The Packers host the Bengals this week as double-digit favorites, a spot that has historically not been very favorable for the home favorites covering. And while the Packers are clear as day the stronger team on paper and should win comfortably at home against a team starting a recently acquired Joe Flacco at quarterback, I just don't love this Packers offense right now at the same time. I think Flacco has proven to be a better player than Jake Browning has been the past few weeks, and he can bring a bit of a spark to an offense that has so many playmakers that can keep things closer in this game. I really expect Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to get things going this week. So while the Packers absolutely should win this game, I just don't love the spread up over 2 touchdowns. Give me Joe Flacco in his debut to score enough on the road to cover in this game, but the Packers take it 30-20. Lions at Chiefs has game of the week potential Sunday night, but a bunch of injury riddles this game. For the Chiefs, it looks like Xavier Worthy will play, which is big news, as the Lions secondary is brutally banged up. All of DJ Reed, Terrion Arnold, Aleem McNeil, Brian Branch, and Kirby Joseph are banged up on the defense. And it sounds like Branch and Kirby could play, but the rest are out for this one. But even with all the injuries, the Lions should be competitive with an elite offense that's been virtually unstoppable at times this season. And on the defense, the linebacker group is arguably the best in the league, and the defensive line has been eating in this Kelvin Shepherd system. This will be a super tough test though, as Mahomes works magic and is facing a very beatable secondary. If Branch and Kirby miss this game, I find it hard to believe Mahomes doesn't have a massive day. I just feel as if the Lions offense will be able to match basically anything he gets, as it's so explosive and they have a long history of stepping up in these spots. And the biggest standout stat to me is that Jared Goff is being graded #1 in the NFL against the blitz, something the Chiefs do at a very high rate. I'm going to take the Lions straight up on the road despite all their injuries this week, as I just think they're a better team and I really trust Jared Goff. 31-28. The Bills are on the road this week in Atlanta as 4.5-point favorites, but the Bills have not been playing great football, and the Falcons could absolutely steal this game for them at home. Betting against Josh Allen is always so tough for me, but fading Buffalo against the spread has been a great move so far this season. Things aren't clicking at their fullest, and the Bills' defense has some obvious issues, and the Falcons have home field advantage on a Monday night, which should mean the building is rocking. They've got playmakers who can show up and make plays on this Buffalo defense. To me, I really believe this game is going to be close, coming down to the wire in a final possession or two, and there aren't many guys in the league you would trust more than Josh Allen in that scenario. So I am going to take the Bills on the road in primetime to pick up a win to avenge last week's loss to New England. But I do like the Falcons plus the 4.5. It's just a solid spot for them at home to cover at the very least. So I'll go with a 28-24 final to the Bills. Our second Monday night matchup is the Chicago Bears on the road at the Washington Commanders. Washington will be without Terry McLaurin again this week, but the offense has shown the ability to adapt without him, and Jaden Daniels looked very solid in that second half to Los Angeles last week. The Commanders' defense has been decent lately as well, which can obviously elevate even more playing at home in prime time. I think this Bears offense has a lot of potential and firepower, and they are rested as well, but there's no doubt they've struggled with consistency here and there, and that defense has given up play after play all year long. I do expect Caleb Williams to make this game competitive for a while, but Jaden Daniels' playmaking ability is going to show up in some big ways in the spotlight, as it usually does. And I think the Commanders get the job done at home over a Bears team that just is not there yet. I'll go 30-23 for a final score. That's it for my Week 6 picks. Let me know your thoughts on any of these games down in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
BARK Radio.